A good day to everyone. Here I am once again, your friendly professor for your contemporary world class. So for today, we will be talking about the world population or the global demography. So as we all know, the growth of our population nowadays is one of the main concerns of many governments around the world, especially in this time of the pandemic, which is of course affecting many people all throughout the world. So, uh, for today, we will be talking about the effects of the population increase in the global context, and of course, uh, what are the different things uh, that we need to know about the population growth or the increase of the people in the different countries or in the global context. So, if you will look into the data, pinapakita dito that around in 2004, we have already reached the 6.4 billion mark. And kung titignan natin, in 1963, uh, we have around 3.2 billion. So, nung pagdating ng 2004, naging doble na kagad yung laki ng ating population. So, that's how our population increases in a matter of just maybe around 40 years. So, ngayon, ang projection ng mga experts, by 2050, we could reach around 7.2 to 10.6 billion. So, sa kasalukuyan, we are around 8 billion, more or less. So, ngayon, ano mga nagiging pwedeng makita nating epekto ng pag-increase ng population? Of course, yung makikita natin na environmental problems, and of course, it will also create some economic problems with different countries, particularly to the global south or dun sa mga tinatawag natin developing countries. So now, ito yung sinasabi ko na population trend, the growth of the population. So makikita nyo, by 2050, it will increase at around, yun nga yung sinasabi kanina, around 10 billion, and we might even get close to 14 billion after the year 2100. So ngayon, ito, makikita ninyo, population projections for the next 20 years. As we all know, yung China is one of the leading countries pagdating sa pagdami. But since they have already created policies with regards to population control, medyo nakokontrol na nila. And then, dito naman, sa kabilang side, nandyan yung India, which is of course, isa sa pinakamaraming population sa buong mundo. So, ngayon, ano yung mga makikita nating comparisons with the different population trends? So, first of all, makikita natin, mas malaki ang epekto ng mas malaking populasyon sa mga bansa na developing. So, if you will try to compare, makita nyo rito, developed countries, ayan, low infant mortality rate. When we say low infant mortality rate, ibig sabihin, mas konti yung mga bata o yung mga babies na namamatay kapag pinapanganak, particularly. And on the other hand, high infant mortality rate, maraming mga bata na namamatay. Sa mga developed countries, life expectancy is above 70 years old. And dito naman sa mga sa mga developed countries, nasa 70 above years old. And then pagdating naman dito sa developing countries, 50 plus, pwede ka na mamatay. So sa Pilipinas, in our country, our life expectancy is around 65 to 70 years old. So, ayun, medyo nasa gitna tayo. Ngayon naman, kung titignan natin dito, ang per capita GDP ng mga bansa na develop o maunlad ay mas mataas compared sa mga nasa bansang developing. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Ang mga bansa na develop, they have more control over sa population growth compared with countries that are developing. Mas malaki yung chance nila na magkaroon ng problems with regards to their economy dahil sa malaking population. So for the case of US, even though malaki yung kanilang population, malaki din naman yung kanilang landmass. And of course, syempre, they have already created policies with regards on how to control population. And then ganun din naman sa mga bansa like China. Diba? So ngayon, ano yung mga issues na pwede nating tignan with regards sa human population? So, of course, syempre, yung population size, yung population density. When we talk about population density, this is the number of people sharing a certain space. For example, per kilometer squared or per meter squared, ilang tao nag-share dyan, ilang tao ang nandyan. So, sa mga cities, mas mataas ang population density because of course, kahit sabihin natin na hindi ganun karami yung mga nakatira sa city, pero since mas cramp up ang space sa mga cities, mas mataas ang kanilang population density. So just like for example, dito sa Manila, hindi naman ganun kalaki ang Manila, hindi rin naman ganun kalaki ang mga tao nakatira dito, but still, nagsisiksikan pa rin sila because of course, dun sa maliit na space na meron sa mga cities. So, of course, ang pag-aaral ng population size, population density will always comes down to what we call as demography, which is of course yung pag-aaral ng population. So ngayon, isa sa mga malaking tinitignan na effect ng pagtaas ng population is of course the environmental impact. As we all know, dun sa mga nakaraan nating lessons, particularly with global cities, the more na mas malaki ang population, the more na mas malaki ang consumption natin ng pagkain, ng products, or ng iba't iba pang mga electronics, which is of course forces the market na mag-create pa ng mas maraming products. So, mas maraming mga waste materials na napuproduce at mas maraming resources ang ginagamit. So, therefore, ano nangyari? Naapektuhan yung ating environment. So, mapapansin nyo yan sa mga bansang malaki ang population, mas naapektuhan din yung ating environment. For example, sa China, malaki ang demand ng China for products, malaki ang demand ng China for supplying yung kanilang market. So, ano nangyari? There are some cities sa kanilang bansa na they are covered in smog dahil sa usok, dahil sa ganyan. And then, of course, meron tayong mga countries just like the Philippines, mataas ang rate ng deforestation natin dito because some of the lands or some of the forested areas are converted into mining areas, di ba? So, the more na mas malaki ang population, mas mataas ang demand for resources, mas mataas ang consumption, environmental impact nangyayari. And may masamang epekto yan sa atin. And of course, with our environment. So, ayan. The fertility rates ng mga tao ay tumaas or have significantly fallen since the 1950. And then, of course, syempre, may mga iba't ibang factors affecting birth rates and total fertility rates. Of course, syempre, nandun yung gera, nandun yung labor force, nandun din yung family planning, nandun din yung mga policies ng government. Of course, yung mga birth control, education. So, ayan, marami mga iba't ibang mga factors na makaka-apekto sa fertility rates. Of course, developing countries that are lacking with population control, education, yung mga iba't ibang healthcare policies, they suffer the most in terms of the problems with the increase in birth rates. So, ito, kung titignan natin sa US, yung kanilang population picture, ayan, tumataas yung kanilang population. So, by 2030, pwedeng maapektuhan or tumaas yung kanilang population. So, ngayon, ito, tignan natin, yung paglaki ng population, of course, it affects yung pagkalat or pag-occupy ng space ng mga tao sa ating environment or sa landmass area. So, which causes urban sprawl. So, makikita nyo naman dito sa atin, dumadaming residential areas at kinakain na paunti-unti yung ating landmass. So, anong epekto niyan? Of course, yung mga supposedly agricultural lands, they're being converted into residential areas to accommodate yung pagtaas ng ating population. So, sa mga provinces natin, yung mga nearby provinces, for example, sa Cavite, sa Laguna, sa Bulacan, nako-convert na yung mga dating palayan doon or mga dating taniman doon into subdivisions, residential areas, condominiums, because of course, they need to accommodate yung pagtaas ng population at sa paggamit ng landmass ng mga tao to use as their homes. Of course, syempre, naapektuhan dito yung mga animals since nasisira yung kanilang natural habitat, marami sa kanila ang nadi-displace, marami sa kanila yung namamatay. So, malaki talaga yung effect ng pagtaas ng population sa ating environment. So, of course, syempre, mataas din ang epekto niyan sa ating mga tao pagdating ng calamities since gawa na sa semento ang karamihan sa mga daanan natin, mas mataas yung cases ng pagbaha since konti na lang yung puno, nagkakaroon ng maraming cases ng soil erosion, and then of course landslide, flooding, because of course nawawala na yung mga natural ways ng ating environment para i-regulate yung water na pumapasok sa surface. So, ayan. So, makikita natin, malaki yung epekto ng pagtaas ng ating population sa ating environment. So, ngayon ang tanong, ano bang kailangan natin gawin dito? Of course, syempre, simple lang naman. Education, and then of course, syempre, yung birth control. Of course, syempre, mayroon tayong iba't ibang processes or mga iba't ibang ways to control yung birth, pero makikita natin, maraming factors na kailangan i-consider. Pero titignan natin, ang pinakamahalaga makita natin dito is of course, yung role ng education sa bibigay sa atin ng assurance na kahit lumaki ang population natin or kahit pa dumami tayo, at least through education, pwede natin makontrol yung ating sarili. And then of course, syempre may chance tayo to have an economic opportunity na magawa ng paraan just in case lumaki ang population natin. But nevertheless, of course, kung magkakaroon tayo ng enough na education para ma-realize na kailangan natin makontrol yung population through our to the different methods, of course, syempre, magagawa natin ng paraan na makontrol yung ating population. At the same time, we can also save the environment. So, ayan, maraming mga iba't ibang ways on how to control the population, on how to improve yung ating urban planning, land use, yung mga ganyan. Actually, maraming mga videos, maraming documentaries na about dyan. So, kung makikita natin, nasa political will din, and then of course, sa cooperation din ng mga people, ng mga tao, on how we will be able to contribute in mitigating the effects of population growth. Kasi mahirap talaga iwasan yung pagdami ng mga tao. Kaya kailangan natin ng education, and then of course, kailangan din natin ng birth control, ng population control. So, ayan, with that, I hope you have learned something from our discussion. So, feel free to ask me if you have any queries and if you have any concerns on sa mga pinapagawa kong activities. And I hope you have learned something, and thank you very much, and I hope you are all safe, you're all healthy. So with that, thank you and God bless.